America has bought many things in its history: land, oil, companies, even wars. But what if I told you that the next trillion-dollar investment is not a tech startup, not real estate, not crypto, but a frozen island that most people can't even pronounce? An island where almost nothing grows, almost nobody lives, and yet the world's most powerful countries are quietly fighting to control it. This is not about flags. This is not about politics. This is about money, about resources, about who controls the future economy. This is the real financial story behind the Greenland Deal. What is Greenland really? Let's start with a simple question. Why would anyone care about Greenland? On the surface, it looks useless, covered in ice, harsh weather, small population. But finance is never about what you see on the surface. It's about what lies underneath. And underneath Greenland lies something far more valuable than gold. The hidden treasure under the ice. Beneath Greenland's ice are rare earth minerals, lithium, cobalt, uranium, oil, and natural gas. These are not luxury materials. These are mandatory materials. No smartphones without them. No electric vehicles, no AI servers, no missiles, no satellites. In short, no modern economy. Right now, most of these minerals come from one place, China, and that is exactly where the problem begins. The supply chain nightmare. America learned a painful lesson in recent years. When supply chains break, economies freeze, factories shut down, inflation explodes, markets panic. The U.S. realized something terrifying. We don't control the materials that power our future. Rare earths? China dominates. Battery metals? China refines them. EV supply chain? China leads. So America asked a dangerous question. What happens if access is cut off? That's when Greenland entered the chat. Ice is actually a good thing. Here's the irony. The same climate change that threatens the planet is turning Greenland into a financial gold mine. As ice melts, new shipping routes open, mining becomes easier, access to oil and gas increases. Routes that once took weeks now take days. Shipping costs drop, fuel costs drop, time drops. For global trade, time is money. The Arctic is the next global highway. Most Americans don't realize this, but the Arctic is becoming the next global highway. Whoever controls Arctic access controls trade routes, energy flow, military movement, insurance costs, global pricing power. This isn't theory. Shipping companies are already recalculating routes. Markets move before headlines do. Why the U.S. cares so much? The U.S. doesn't want Greenland because it's cold. It wants Greenland because it reduces dependency. It secures future supply. It protects the dollar system. It strengthens military logistics. This is economic defense, not expansion. And that's why this deal is framed carefully, not as ownership, but as access. The deal part, important. Let's be clear. Greenland is not being bought. It is an autonomous territory under Denmark. What's happening is more subtle and more powerful. Long-term agreements, infrastructure investments, mining partnerships, military access, shipping cooperation. In finance, control doesn't always mean ownership. It means leverage. Follow the money, not the map. Whenever a country talks about security, cooperation, strategic partnership, translated into one word, money. Who invests? Who insures? Who extracts? Who ships? Who refines? Who sells? That's where real power sits. And this power doesn't show up on flags, it shows up on balance sheets. Market signals most people miss. Here's something retail investors rarely notice. Whenever geopolitics heats up, mining stocks move first, energy futures react, defense companies rally, shipping firms reprice risk. This is not coincidence. Institutional money moves quietly. By the time the news hits YouTube, the money has already repositioned. Why this matters to the average American? You might be thinking, okay, but how does this affect me? Here's how. EV prices, phone prices, energy bills, inflation, job creation, retirement funds. Resource control directly impacts cost of living. When supply is secure, prices stabilize. When supply is threatened, prices explode. Greenland is about price control, not land. The dollar connection. The US dollar stays strong because global trade uses it. Energy is priced in it. Resources flow through it. Lose resource influence and the dollar loses leverage. This is why America protects supply chains like a bank protects gold, because in the modern world, resources are the new reserves. The system is designed this way. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Poor countries sell labor. Rich countries secure resources. Poor countries react to inflation. Rich countries prevent it. This is not conspiracy. It's how the system has always worked. Greenland is just the latest example. What happens next? Prediction. Over the next decade, expect more Arctic investments, more partnership deals, more supply chain nationalism, less globalization, more control. The world is moving from cheap access to secure access. Security always costs more, and someone always pays the price. Final warning to viewers. This story isn't about Greenland. It's about a world where resources are limited, competition is silent, power is invisible. If you don't understand where money is flowing, you'll always wonder why prices rise. And by the time the average person notices, the system has already locked in its advantage. The next global war won't start with bombs. It will start with contracts, with shipping routes, with resource access. And the battlefield will be places you never thought mattered, like a frozen island called Greenland.